The prairie stretched endlessly
We need
beneath
to
a
leave now.
darkening sky.
It's not
The
safe
wind
here anymore.
Let's get you on the
sweeping
horse.
through the
Stay
golden
close.
grass like an ocean of whispers. Rain was coming, the kind that didn't ask permission. The storm clouds pressed low, and the air smelled of dust, lightning, and something wild. Along that lonely stretch of dirt road, a young woman named Clara Wren fought to keep her wagon steady, her gloved hands trembling around the reins. Her horse whinnied in fear, hooves slipping on the wet ground. She wasn't built for this kind of struggle. She'd grown up in the city, proper, polished, and fragile. But fate had brought her here, running from a heartbreak she didn't have the strength to face. Then came the thunder, and with it, him. Out of the haze of rain, a cowboy appeared on horseback. He rode with a calm confidence, his broad shoulders glistening with rain, his hat tilted low against the wind. The moment he saw her wagon struggling, he spurred his horse forward, cutting through the storm like a blade through silk. "Whoa there!" he called, his deep voice barely carrying through the downpour. He reached her just as the wagon wheel sunk deep into the mud. "You're gonna lose that axle if you keep pushing it." Clara looked up, startled. Her bonnet was soaked, her cheeks streaked with rain. I can't stop. I have to reach town before nightfall." The cowboy's blue eyes softened. "You won't make it 5 more miles in this weather. You'll freeze out here." When he stepped down, his boots sank into the mud with a heavy squelch. He grabbed the reins gently, his touch steady, calm. "Easy now," he murmured to the horse, his voice low and kind. The animal, restless moments ago, settled under his hand. Clara stared, breathless, not from fear, but from something she couldn't quite name. He fixed the harness, freed the wheel, and nodded toward a ridge in the distance. "There's a cabin up yonder. Belongs to me. You can rest there till morning." She hesitated. "I don't even know your name." He smiled faintly, rain dripping off the brim of his hat. "Luke Carver. Folks around here just call me Carver. And you, Miss?" "Clara," she said quietly. "All right, Miss Clara, let's get you out of this mess." By the time they reached the cabin, night had swallowed the plains. The place was humble. One room, stone fireplace, the scent of cedar and smoke filling the air. Luke stoked the fire until it roared to life, its glow dancing over the wooden walls. Clara stood near the door, shivering, her soaked dress clinging to her. Luke noticed, but turned away respectfully, pulling a wool blanket from a chest. "Here," he said, holding it out. "You'll catch your death if you stay in those wet clothes." Thank you." Her voice trembled as she took the blanket. He nodded, keeping his distance. "There's stew on the stove. It ain't much, but it's hot." For a moment they stood in silence, the crackle of fire filling the space between them. Clara studied him, the way the firelight traced the lines of his jaw, the quiet strength in his movements. He wasn't like the men she'd known back home, loud, proud, careless. This man carried his strength like a burden, not a boast. When she sat by the fire, she whispered almost to herself, "You didn't have to help me." Luke poured her a tin cup of coffee, his voice low. "Maybe not, but it's the kind of thing you do when someone's in trouble." Clara looked up, meeting his eyes. "Why are you out here all alone?" He paused. The fire cracked. "Because I made mistakes," he said finally. "Ones that don't wash off easy." There was something in his tone, regret, weight, but not bitterness. Clara felt it tug at her heart. The rain kept falling through the night, drumming softly against the roof. As the hours passed, conversation flowed easier. Stories of loss, of family, of dreams that never quite worked out. She told him about her father's store in Kansas City, about the fiancé who'd broken her trust. He told her about the ranch he lost after his brother's passing. It wasn't the words themselves that mattered. It was the gentleness in them. When she finally fell silent, tears glimmering in her eyes, Luke moved closer, not too close, and placed a steady hand over hers. "You've been hurt," he said quietly, "but you're stronger than you think. Don't let someone else's lies make you forget that." She swallowed hard. "You speak like you've been there." "I have," he said simply. The fire crackled again, and in that golden light something shifted between them, something fragile and healing. Clara's heart, once frozen by betrayal, felt the warmth she'd been starving for. When dawn broke, the storm had passed. Sunlight poured through the cabin window, turning everything gold. Luke was outside, saddling his horse. Clara stepped out wrapped in his blanket, her hair catching the wind. "Thank you," she said softly. He smiled, a rare warmth touching his eyes. "You're heading to town?" "I was," she said, glancing toward the horizon. "But maybe I'll stay a while, help you fix that fence out back." Luke chuckled. "You don't seem like the fence-mending type." She smiled back. "You'd be surprised what I can do when I slow down a little." He looked at her then, really looked, and something unspoken passed between them. A promise, a beginning, and for the first time in a long time, neither of them felt alone.